where the things that he is strong on is the stuff that Biden is weak on. Where he's had success, Biden's had failure. And I think it's very clear for America. It's very clear for everybody in our state. It's certainly clear for if you're someone who, eats food, puts gas in your car, or uses electricity, you should be voting for President Trump because he's got policies that are going to get the prices down and help make our world more secure.
What do you make of you who makes that argument pretty elegantly and talks about the issues that we hear over and over people care about, right? They care about gas prices, they care about inflation, they care about crime, they care about immigration. What do you make about you making that case so forcefully? And so often when we listen to President Trump and his rallies, a lot of it's about him and his grievances, for lack of a better term.
Well, I would say that, just having spent the weekend with President Trump and a bunch of great entrepreneurs and job creators that were there from around the country supporting him, there is across the energy, the positive energy and the theme that was there, he certainly has got a great vision for America. And if he sprinkles in a few grievances, I can understand why he'd have that, because we're at a real risk here in our country with this lawfare and a two-tier justice system where we're literally trying to, create cases to go after someone who is likely going to be our next president. And I think that everybody understands the legal underpinnings of these, that as a business guy, I do, which is this case that's going on in New York that's getting round-the-clock coverage. This is a business filing case. This would be a misdemeanor for any other business person, and they'd probably have a low-level person in the accounting department, not the President of the United States, locked down in court 4 days a week. The whole thing is bizarre that they'd even been able to try to turn it into a felony, because normally it wouldn't even be tried, and all of it's alleged.
No, I get the grievance about the New York case. We've covered it a lot. We've come down about how not only is it unusual for this prosecution to happen, every other prosecutor passed on it. And Alvin Bragg made clear exactly who he was going after when he got elected. Among those at Mar-a-Lago, it wasn't just donors and President Trump, right? It was a cast of people who you might say were trying out in one way or another for vice president, or at least on the short list based on our reporting. What do you make of picking a vice president that used to always be done in private? It was whispered conversations. It was long vetting. But it seemed to be different. And now, you think it's fair to say it almost feels like a season of The Apprentice?
Well, I think it's important for people to understand that there's nobody that understands how to drive media attention better than President Trump. I mean, the last episode of The Apprentice in 2015 had 28.5 million people watching it, #1 watch show in the country, which I should just say is, twice as many people that watched the first debate in Milwaukee that was absent President Trump. So the fact that he knows how to have a #1 rated show, I mean, it makes no surprise to me that he's doing that. But in terms of, if people keep saying the short list, he said himself during his remarks that there was over 50 people.
But should picking the vice president, though, of the United States be a show? Should it be? Is that what it needs to be?
Well, I don't think this show trial that's going on, the sham show trial, should be a show. But America right now, there's a lot of things that maybe shouldn't be shows that are. And in the end of the day, he's going to make a decision that's going to be based on what's best for the country. That he's going to do that. He's going to have a lot of great choices to pick from. I think if he invited more people up on stage, there wouldn't have been room. People were practically falling off. I think there were
well played. Okay,
there were 17 people on stage.
There's been a discussion, shall we say, about another one of the people who was in Mar-a-Lago. The issue of killing animals has come up among this group of people. We noted that you two have talked, and actually back at the Iowa State Fair, you talked about how to kill a particular animal, that being a rattlesnake. Take a listen.
They're coiled up. They're very hard to inflict the appropriate injury on. But if you get them snaking through the grass and then their back, his spine is exposed, you can take a lariat across their back. And if you do that, then that stuns them. And you stun them, then you go there and then you step on their head with your boot, and then you just pull on the back, and then their head comes off.
Once you kill the rattlesnake, are they pretty tasty?
Well, this context of this was at the Iowa State Fair.
Yeah.
I was with the Ruthless podcast team.
Great guys.
And they said, hey, let's get together for some fair food. And at the Iowa State Fair, they had rattlesnake nachos with venom sauce. And the Ruthless guys had never had rattlesnake before, so we headed over over there and had that.
So I have to understand this, though, okay? Because this is video with you guys in the Ruthless podcast in discussing rattlesnakes. I didn't know rattlesnake was an option, though, because and maybe this is a good question, because when our interview happened at the Iowa State Fair, it was with an egg. Take a listen.
I think this is just a very standard hard-boiled egg.
Very standard hard-boiled egg?
Okay. Yep.
Very standard hard-boiled egg. How is it that Ruthless got the story of how to kill rattlesnakes and I got an egg?
Yeah.
Nobody looks cool eating an egg.
No, but you and I did get to go through the line to see, instead of seeing the butter cow, but next to the butter cow was the butter Caitlin Clark, who's gone on to great fame. They had her carved out of butter as well.
This is true. All right. Next time we will have something other than an egg. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.